Well, what's up, beginner guys? Brian here, the Three Topics Gamer, here to give you another episode of my weekly Q&A titled "The People's Questions," where I answer a series of questions that have been sent to me over the past week. This episode is relatively simple. I did get a number of questions that I was able to answer in the comment section, but for this particular video, I do have about four main questions, and I do believe they're all from regulars. I don't think there's anybody that was really too new. So that's okay. We can work with what we get. Before I start answering these questions, if you're not familiar to this, I would really appreciate it if you can actually give this video a thumbs up if you happen to enjoy it. Or if you're new, you could also press the subscribe button, and you can therefore keep track of me and all my future videos that will be coming out. Starting off with the first question, which is a little interesting, but just because of how it's structured, but first question comes from Zach Tarv, and you want to know, so how would a fight go with Chris and Jill against Jack Krauser or Alex Wesker? At first, I thought you thought 2-on-2, but okay, I think what you mean is if Chris and Jill were to fight Krauser or Alex Wesker, just 2-on-1. In that case, Chris and Jill would easily win both fights. I mean, heck, I think Chris himself could take down Krauser, and yeah, I think Jill could handle Wesker. So yeah, I think Chris and Jill would definitely come out victorious out of both those conflicts. I think they're a pretty good team. I think the only reason they did so poorly against Albert Wesker is because they were just unprepared. I think if they had had a second chance to take him on, knowing what they know from Wesker, being more prepared, I think they would have certainly performed a lot better. Next question comes from Artist Gant, and you want to know if Sephiroth hadn't discovered the truth that he was supposed to... Okay, pretty much the question goes on. Do I think that he would eventually join Cloud as a member of Avalanche? What? Really? No. Trust me, Sephiroth. You do realize Sephiroth is like the face and poster boy of Shinra. There is no way your face is going to join a terrorist group. So, and dude, trust me, he's more effective than Avalanche could ever be on his own. This is a guy that was created to wipe out entire armies, while you have this little terrorist cell that's just going around blowing up Mako reactors. If anything, Sephiroth could just blow up these Mako reactors by himself if he really wanted to. But yeah, no, Sephiroth, yeah, there's no way in hell Sephiroth would join Avalanche. Sorry, man, not gonna happen. Next question comes from the only person that sent me a question last time that I could not pronounce his name, but he did happen to contact me and just say I could just call him Hydra, so Hydra it is, but there's your real name. And you want to know, would I buy the next Metal Gear Solid if Santa Monica Studios bought out the series? Okay, correction. Santa Monica Studios cannot technically buy anything. Sony has to buy the rights. Sony can actually buy the rights from Konami, and then they can give it to one of their studios. Santa Monica Studios has no power to buy any properties that it doesn't already make. So that's number one. So, how would I feel if Sony were to buy the rights to Konami, therefore getting the rights to Metal Gear, and they want to give it to one of their studios to make a future game? If Santa Monica Studios was that studio, would I get it? Absolutely, no problem. I mean, as long as it was a complete reboot and they didn't try to do anything that came before. Have it be just complete redo. You don't have to use anything about, genetic cloning or nuclear deterrence or use the snakes. It would have to be just a complete rehaul of the franchise, and I would be totally open for that. I simply do not trust Konami with this product. They have shown that they are completely incompetent and don't know what the hell they're doing. So give it to someone who does. As long as it isn't Konami, I would absolutely support it, and I would absolutely give it a chance. And the last question of the episode comes from Red Guilty, and you want to know, do I think Insomniac Games can make an X-Men game just like they did for Spider-Man? Probably not, because sadly Sony does not own the rights to X-Men, so chances are you could never get an X-Men Sony exclusive game ever. But no, I think X-Men game would be a bit too complicated. I mean, when it comes to Spider-Man, you only have to focus on one character in one set of gaming mechanics. X-Men would just be way too complicated. I mean, if you want an example for what you probably would end up getting, check out that recent Avengers game that came out. I personally didn't play it myself, but I did happen to see several reviews, and they weren't good. They were not very good at all. Even the most optimistic reviews I've seen with it said that, yeah, this game was kind of a bit of a mess. So I would expect probably the same thing for an X-Men game. So as it stands right now, I would be perfectly fine with them not doing an X-Men game. It's not needed. I'm sure you could make a good X-Men game, but I think Insomniac Games has got their hands full with Spider-Man, and I think they're doing a pretty damn good job with it. And that does it for the 4 primary questions that I was able to answer for this particular video. I'd like to thank the 4 of you guys that sent in your questions for this video, as well as everyone else that sent in your questions in the last video that I was able to answer in the comment sections for that video. If you guys have any more questions you'd like me to answer in next week's episode, be sure to type them in the comments down below. But make sure you get them into me before next Wednesday, before noon, before I start filming the next episode. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I will see you next week.